Welcome to In the Badger's Burrow by Velvet Aura, where we talk about all things physical to spiritual and everywhere in between. I'm your host, Robyn, and I'm so happy to have you here in the burrow with me to listen along as we embrace the Badger's fierce medicine of supporting your own radical healing and transformation. In this episode, I'm talking with the wonderful Carol Roache. Carol possesses a GIA accreditation and is joining me in this episode to share her clusters of knowledge about the use of crystals, taking a closer look at the ones that formed our latest collection. Now that you've entered the burrow, root down and let's begin. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Really good. Yeah. We've had our youngest daughter's 10th birthday a couple of days ago, so it's been crazy. So I've just been baking her a cake and getting ready for a birthday party and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. What about you?
Well, it's very exciting at the moment because the crystals are launching next Wednesday. So I'm really excited to be sharing the little babies into the world. Just also been doing a lot of yoga planning alongside that and just getting a business bits ready for that really. So it's been fun. To start off, do you want to quickly just introduce yourself and explain your relationship with the understanding of crystals so people can know why we're talking?
Sure. Yeah. I'm Carol. I've been working with gemstones for about 17 years. Got my GIA accreditation, which is the Gemological Institute of America accredited jewelry professional a few years ago. Well, I'll say a few years ago, probably about 11, 12 years ago. Coming from a place where I sell gemstones, where I bring gemstones to people and tell them about the gemstones. But it was only really about 3, 4 years ago that I became interested in crystals and the holistic side of it, the power side of it, and became absolutely obsessed with them and had really positive experiences with crystals in my own life. I'm fascinated by them and what they can do and the power that they can have over you.
Do you mind giving a little bit of an explanation about what differentiates a crystal from other stones?
Okay, so my understanding is when you study a gemstone, you are looking at the molecular structure of a gemstone. You're looking at what makes it a gemstone. Are there certain elements which colour the gemstone? They're classified into different families. So you've got the beryl family, which is aquamarine, morganite, goshenite. You've got the corundum family, which is sapphire and ruby. But when you're talking about crystals, for me anyway, I tend to think of them more as what part of the body they are connected to, what chakra they are connected to, what kind of vibrational element they might have. So clear quartz, for instance. So I think about them and I talk about them in a completely different way. So that for me is what the main difference is.
For sure. I feel like I resonate with that very thoroughly because obviously in shamanic kundalini, the yoga that I teach, the chakra system is so important in it. And I feel like crystals became a part of my life and a part of Velvet Aura because of the interaction that you can do with them to assist you in your energetic well-being as opposed to just aesthetic.
Absolutely. Quite often, the gemstones that I'm drawn to at a certain time tend to be the gemstones that I need most in my life. So I do have to kind of listen to it. Or the gemstones that I feel a little bit repelled by, or not repelled, that's a bit of a strong word, but that I don't feel an attraction to. I look into that, look at what that gemstone is and think, do I need to delve into that a little bit more? It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating.
That's such a unique approach because I had never thought of it that way, of the one that you're not actually feeling attracted to in that moment could also be an invitation for further exploring those properties.
100%. A friend of mine, she was going through a really bad time at work. She was going through a bad time in her relationships. She felt like when your energy feels like it's in your head and you feel like you're drowning almost, like you can't breathe. And she worked in jewelry. She designed jewelry, and her mum tried to give her a hematite, which is a beautiful stone. And she didn't want it near her. She didn't want anything to do with it. And it turns out that the hematite is a hugely grounding stone, from the earth. Hemoglobin, hematite, it's all to do with kind of the grounding of oneself. And she saw it as an invitation to kind of invite it into her life. And actually it ended up having a huge effect on her and really enriched her and helped her feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more stable.
That's interesting. I feel like obviously that's sounding as if that crystal is aligned with the root chakra, hence the grounding. In
Yeah.
shamanic kundalini, what can often happen is if we don't focus on the lower chakras first, you can really end up having experiences like you're saying, where your upper chakras are a little bit overstimulated and you become a little bit too much in the crown chakra space and a bit too heady. So
Yeah.
I find that definitely working on the root chakra, the grounding work, your lower triangle chakras have to have had some work and attention before you can think about going up and higher. But obviously, in the everyday world, we're working with our chakras all the time without realizing it. So it can get quite easy to end up in those higher spaces and overstimulating by accident. So even with practicing yoga, I find that even having crystals in the room as well to just amplify that experience to help ground is
Absolutely.
it takes it to that other level. And
Mm.
in our particular practice of shamanic kundalini, because of the weaving in of shamanism, honoring the earth, using crystals is another way to do that. So it's really fun to find different ways to incorporate them.
Mm. I've found if I've done sound baths in the past, I always take with me, I take my rose quartz, I take my clear quartz, I've got a few of each, and I take my selenite as well. It really helps to cleanse them, rebalance them, and you can almost tell that they're absorbing all of those wonderful energies and sound waves. It's incredible.
So, rose quartz and clear quartz are actually a part of our collection coming on Wednesday. I wondered if you would want to go through a couple of the different crystals that we have coming out and want to break them down into properties and what they can be used for.
So let's start with clear quartz. Even from designers who I work with, who work with gemstones, who are skeptical about the properties that gemstones have, clear quartz is undeniable. It has an energy to it. Everything around us, whether it's this pen or this table, everything is vibrating. Everything has a vibration to it. We just can't necessarily feel it. Clear quartz has a vibration, and the vibration that it has is a frequency that is used in watch manufacturing. It's used in oscillators for radios, for batteries. It's there to keep that kind of kinetic, that perpetual motion inside a watch battery. And it's the energy, it's the vibration, the unique vibration that that has within it that powers that. So it's undisputable that it has a certain energy and a certain vibration to it. When you add a clear quartz with any other gemstone, whether it's a rose quartz, whether it's an aventurine or a lapis or a larimar, whatever it might be, it's believed to amplify whatever positive energies those gemstones have. So if you're looking at something like citrine, which is the merchant stone, and you're looking to attract good fortune or whatever it might be, or optimism, you put it next to a clear quartz. The clear quartz is said to amplify and magnify that anything good which can come from that crystal. So it's called the master healer. And it's like the ultimate gemstone alongside any other gem that you've got in your crystal toolkit, in your crystal collection. It is the absolute one that everybody should have.
Yeah.
Everyone. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I remember I went to a fantastic meditation evening, and the lady who was taking the class walked around with a bowl of crystals, and she said, just reach into the bowl and just pick a crystal. And I happened to pick out a beautiful clear quartz, and I put it under my head, under my pillow when I was doing the meditation. And the effect that that gemstone had on me for days and days afterwards, I slept with it under my pillow. It was quite incredible. So it's my absolute, everyone should have it.
I'm so excited because other than just having a more statement piece, Brazilian clear quartz, we have quite a lot of natural clear quartz geodes as well and points because I felt the same when I was finding the pieces that I wanted to sell for Velvet. I was so gravitated towards it. And I think because it's so versatile, it's
Yeah.
basically just asking for people to take it home with them because it's like you can literally use me for anything. For our smaller ones, so for the geodes, we've called
Yeah.
them light ally because we feel that it's literally like your assistant. And the
Yeah.
same for the points, we've called the points light arrows because they're helping you but more directly with where you're sending the energy.
Brilliant that you've got both the points and the geodes, because the geodes would tend to be used more for kind of charging. If you wanted to charge another gemstone, like a selenite can charge a gemstone, and it's got that real strong vibrational quality. Whereas the points for kind of mental clarity, so that kind of leading upwards. But yeah, any gemstone, if you can get it in its natural form, and if you can get it in a geode like a rose quartz or an amethyst or a citrine or a clear quartz or a Brazilian quartz, it's hugely different what the two kind of different shapes can do.
Another one that we have just one of them. We have a raw chunk of rose quartz. And I feel like maybe that's a great one to also talk about because it's such, again, a quite common crystal and a lot of people know about rose quartz.
It's a gemstone of the heart for sure. And I think definitely during lockdown, there was a huge resurgence of people who are interested in crystals, interested in self-care, that kind of looking after oneself and checking in with yourself. It's very easy to think of rose quartz just as a gemstone of love, whether that's friendship or romance or looking for love or whatever it might be. But also, most importantly, I think a gem of self-love and a gem of self-acceptance. So it's very hard to do that. We're all very hard on ourselves, but I see rose quartz as a gemstone that allows me to accept myself for who I am with all my flaws and everything, that's gone on in the past, everything that might happen in the future, whatever it might be. And to accept, I'm a decent person. I'm a good person. It's that self-acceptance, which I think so many of us really lack. And if you can have a rose quartz, especially in the bedroom, I gifted one to my mum and she keeps it in her bedroom, and I keep mine in the bedroom as well. It's a wonderful, calming gem of love and relationships, but also that self-love as well.
Yeah, we called it the gentle keep because there's something about it that, like you're saying too, like it can be so overlooked to have
Yeah.
that self-love or just that sort of love in itself. I think a lot of people try to kind of go for the more extreme feelings and sensations, whereas love isn't that. Love is like the foundation underneath it all, and it can feel quite soft and inviting when you come back to it. So
Mm.
the name The Gentle Keep kind of came about because it's sort of like coming back to that feeling where you come back to your grandma's house and they let you in and they give you like a cup of hot chocolate. And it's that
Oh,
soft feeling, isn't it? Where you feel accepted and you feel safe.
it's almost that kind of the Scandinavian way of thinking, the hygge kind of way of thinking, isn't it? It's that warm hug, it's that soft lighting. You're totally right. It's all of that, isn't it?
Totally. I think rose quartz was probably one of the first crystals that I became aware of as well, as I'm sure most people are because it's
Oh,
so famous. But especially when I started doing retreats for Kundalini back then, like the rose quartz around everywhere was just, oh, it was amazing. It was like little petals everywhere.
yes. Oh, gorgeous.
We have a slice of Larimar. I'm not sure if you know anything about those ones. They're a little bit more on the rarer side,
Yeah,
technically. But
yeah.
like, as we're on a theme of sort of safety, what I had learned about Larimar is very much that it's, again, quite a calming stone.
Yeah, so Larimar is a gem which I've only come into contact with in probably the last 10 years or so. It's a one locational gem, which means it's only from one place in the world. It's from the Dominican Republic. And when it was originally discovered by the indigenous people from the island, they believed it came from the ocean because of the way it looks. It looks like water. It looks like light coming through into a swimming pool almost, doesn't it? It's beautiful. So it was called the Dolphin Stone or the Stone of Atlantis, and it was shrouded in mystery. Decades later, from excavations that took place and from people traveling and people walking up the side of the volcano, they found that actually this gem forms within the walls and within the chimneys of the volcano, and it's the various different elements in the volcano sides that colour the gem. Interestingly, any research that I've done is that it's a very calming stone, but it's a stone of manifestation as well. And I believe, though don't quote me on this, I believe that the discovery of the gemstone was prophesied by an American clairvoyant it was a few years before it was actually properly discovered, which I think is absolutely fascinating. But it is one of those stones that is, it's kind of almost onomatopoeic. It looks like where it's from. It's got this beautiful, serene, calm calmness to it. It looks like those gorgeous lagoon blues, and to have a slice of it is incredible, because it's a beautiful stone. I love it.
Oh my God, it's absolutely gorgeous. When it came through, it is quite mesmerizing how you end up looking at it and all of its intricate sort of like streaks through it that make it look like a wave. And
Yeah,
my partner is actually the one who saw it first and was like, well, I want to buy that one.
I love that.
But yeah, it's so interesting though that it's actually formed within like the crevices of the volcano when it comes across so cooling.
Yes, it's fascinating, isn't it? It'll be rich in iron and cobalt. That'll be what'll be colouring it, and obviously it's maybe the gases being released from the extinct volcano that colours the stone. But yeah, I'm totally with you on that. It's interesting, isn't it?
I wonder if it's similar to what we were saying even earlier, where sometimes when you're not attracted to one, it's because it's inviting you in an opposite way. Perhaps that's also how crystals like create themselves. It's like, well, I'm created out of heat, but for an opposite purpose.
Yes, that's a yeah, that's a great way of looking at it.
Another one that we also got in slice form was lemon calcite. And I thought
Yeah,
lemon calcite was quite an interesting pick because I'd seen other calcites available and they're always just called like yellow or
yes.
honey calcite, whereas this one, I believe it falls quite easily into the same category, but the color that we got, it's from Pakistan, is so much more bright yellow and it looks really fun.
Oh, that's fantastic. Do you know something? It's not calcite. I've come across lots, but lemon calcite, I've never come across that. But the fact that it's from Pakistan, Pakistan's a really very rich area for gemstones, for crystals. Some of the best sapphire in the world, the best kunzite and aquamarine in the world comes from there as well. As far as the kind of lemon calcite goes, it's similar to citrine, actually, kind of clarity, positivity, focus, which I really struggle with sometimes. So yeah, another fantastic crystal to have in your toolkit for sure.
Yeah, we called it the clarity tonic, speaking of.
Oh,
Yeah. It definitely, I personally love it because it's so silly, but obviously being called lemon calcite, it's reminding me of that sort of freshness of like starting your day with a slice of lemon in your water. And I know that I sound like I'm dumbing it down because the crystals are much more intelligent than that, like the silly rituals in the morning. But
yeah.
it it has this freshness to it, which I guess is why it also has those themes of clarity for sure. Let's actually segue straight into citrine then, because we have some beautiful like clusters of citrine, and it's interesting that it's associated with clarity because at the same time it's got a real like depth to it. And
Isn't it?
I've
Yeah,
heard I heard you earlier just call it the merchant stone. Is that because of its links to manifestation with abundance and finances?
exactly. So if you, for instance, over in the Far East, particularly, if somebody has started a new business venture, if someone started a new enterprise, traditionally you would give them a citrine to attract wealth, to attract money, and you keep a piece in your till or in your money box or whatever it might be. Um, it's actually, oh gosh, I've been looking for a citrine cluster, a proper citrine geode for years. It's actually a really difficult crystal to get hold of. Amethyst and citrine are basically the same gemstone, and when amethyst forms in a geode, it basically forms in a void, basically. So if you imagine a volcanic eruption that happened millions of years ago, carried down the hill, lots of trees, vegetation, all that kind of stuff. It's covered by molten lava, which then solidifies and calcifies. And then over millions of years, that vegetation decomposes and you end up with a big hollow mass, basically, a void. And the crystals grow into this void. So you get amethyst growing, clear quartz, then amethyst, and you can see that kind of transition. And then let's say 70 million years later, there's another volcanic eruption which happens, and the lava flows over these what are now geodes, over the outside of these geodes. It heats part of the crystal, but the inside part of the crystal remains quite cool. So the amethyst that was there all of a sudden starts to blend into citrine, and it doesn't form in big pieces. It hardly ever forms in great big chunks, or it's very unusual to get chunks and geodes of it. I found one last year, and I'm just looking at it now. It's sitting over there on my windowsill, and I absolutely love it. It is for me a stone which, to attract abundance. And that doesn't necessarily mean wealth. It can mean an abundance of health, an abundance of I don't know, an abundance of luck, good fortune, whatever it might be, an abundance of health that you want to bestow on you or somebody else. And apparently it's a gem of digestion and circulation as well, which I wasn't aware of till fairly recently. But yeah, it's a really fantastic stone. So to be able to have a crystal like citrine as well, really unusual to get it in any kind of size, which is over like a little tiny accent stone. So yeah, well done on getting that. That's
Oh
brilliant.
my God. I'll have to show you the photos then. They are like insane. They're like this. Some of them are like as big as this. Some of them
Oh,
are a little bit bigger, like in sort of like funky shapes, but they still have quite a lot of yellow. They're not deep yellows, but the yellow is there. But it's interesting that you were also saying that it's linked to digestion because the color yellow is the solar plexus chakra, and
okay.
is linked to the navel abdomen area. It's linked to digestion as well. So by having citrine be linked to that makes a lot of sense due to just the color correspondence. So
Mm.
I'm sure if you're doing like a solar plexus focused class, having a citrine at your mat will help with that too. Or I even feel like it could do well serving you. I was thinking in the kitchen. There's
Yes.
something about it, like the heart of the home, bringing the light into the heart with the sun sort of themes of it as well. But I guess because of the dining, maybe that's why my brain was going to there because of its link to digestion. You're eating in there.
Yeah, quite possibly. Um, yeah, it's a really lovely stone, and I think it's just deserving, just as deserving a place at the table as amethyst. Amethyst is, up there, isn't it? And citrine does tend to get overlooked a little bit, which is a shame because it's such a lovely stone.
Oh, I love it. I really love it. I don't know if that's also just kind of color preference for me, but I don't know. It has perhaps that overlookedness is why I like it so much. Other than rose quartz, which I think is a universal stone, everyone should definitely have like a clear quartz or rose quartz. But amethyst, I think its benefits are absolutely amazing. And I had one in the past when I was selling a bit more independently and low key. But I think everyone, again, just everyone knows amethyst, but they don't think about others like citrine.
Mm. Yeah, fascinating.
So, chromium quartz, if I've done my research correctly, is a clear quartz, but then it actually undergoes some man-made interactions that cause the green to come through it. It's just such a statement, the pieces that we have, because of the spikes they're able to form off of it. It really stands out.
And also, I think it's very easy sometimes to get wrapped up in the supposed properties that a gemstone might have and the vibrational elements that a gemstone might have. And actually, sometimes, especially if you're not necessarily a believer, as it were. So if I was to give John, my husband, if I was to put a load of gemstones in front of him, he wouldn't necessarily be that interested in the vibrational elements of a gemstone or the supposed properties of a gemstone. But it is undeniable that we are all affected by the way something looks, the color that something is. So if it is something which has been treated, which has undergone a treatment, then it's not always a negative thing. Sometimes it's, you can be just as attracted to it.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing as well. I think the fact that there's green there, it might not be natural, but just having the color there as a reminder for your intention that you set with it. So if
Yeah.
you are using the color green for the heart chakra and you want to have this crystal that you take home to be your reminder to keep your heart open or work on balancing your heart chakra space, then whether that green is a natural crystal or not, it's standing there as a reminder. Plus, obviously, with the clear quartz with it, it's only going to help amplify that, of course. But I think, like you're saying, with all of the people that are doubtful and hesitant to believe in the power of crystals, just having them for their beauty and to kind of create a contract for yourself with this piece, not for understanding its properties, but to create a ritual for yourself with it. I think that's just as powerful and important.
Yeah, we were looking yesterday when I was at work. We were selling some Merkaba pieces, which is basically a shape. It's like two tetrahedral stars, which are kind of at 90 degrees to each other. And we did them in different crystals, different gemstones. And I said exactly that. I said, look, this is out of clear quartz, and it's probably going to be, if you're into the Merkaba, if you're into that kind of way of thinking, then it's, that sacred, ancient geometry. It's kind of, related to almost everything in the universe. But if you don't buy into that, that's absolutely fine, because it's just a lovely thing to look at. I think there's something in it for everyone. I really do.
I agree. Being able to really create everything around you to be beautiful. And I think that's a beautiful way to sort of tie everything together here, especially with what you were just saying, where at the end of the day, like not only is it a piece that genuinely has power and intention within it, but the fact that you can bring a piece that's beautiful into your home is helping to bring a bit more joy into your life. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Can't wait to see what gems and crystals you're going to be getting next.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. The problem is that I get all of the crystals for this first drop and I'm like, I'm ready to go. I am so excited. And then I'll reference back to my to where I sourced them from a lot because I'll want to go over the details of what I've ordered to make sure everything's correct and all of that jazz. And then I'll see some more crystals and I'm like, oh no. And then it becomes addictive and I am trying very hard to keep my willpower in check. And even just to make sure I actually sell this drop, like I'm this close to being like, oh, I should keep that one. There's no, I so that's my current challenge at the moment.
Oh, bless you. You will know this when you're looking at crystals. You need it to speak to you. You can't just go, "Yep, I'll have that one." It's not like buying a tin of beans. It's got to speak to you, hasn't it?
Oh my God, yeah. And they all have like different personalities. Like
Yeah.
I have a green apophyllite and it has like very like pixie energy, whereas I have a celestite and she's much more like calm and angelic like this. And I don't know if it's because I'm associating the properties that I know that they have like with them, but it makes it very fun.
Or you're just a little bit mad.
That too.
Oh, it's great though. It's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. It really has had such a profound effect on me as well, and my well-being. It's just been incredible.
Are you working with a particular crystal right now or is it clear quartz?
Clear quartz for me is always there, but the beginning of last year, I was doing a lot of yoga practice, a lot of manifesting, a lot of kind of intentions. And whenever I would manifest, and I'm not one of these people who will do kind of hours and hours of meditation. I don't know, I'm just not that kind of person. Like, that's not how I practice. I would just sit quietly kind of on the edge of my bed, and I'd be holding a crystal, and quite often that crystal would be selenite, which is a really, it feels beautiful in the hand. It's a really lovely stone to look at. And for me, that was one of the stones last year, which really helped things to happen, really. It's been quite an incredible stone for me. But I don't know, because they're just upstairs. I don't want them to hear me talk about them and kind of say which one my favourites are. Whenever my daughters, if they're feeling a certain way, if they're feeling particularly anxious about something, then we'll go and pick one of the crystals and they'll sleep with it under their pillow. And whether it works or not, whether it's a placebo effect or whatever, it makes them feel better. It makes me feel better. Yeah.
Well, I believe in it for sure. For
I
sure.
love it.
I also love selenite as well, and I think selenite is going to be introducing herself to the velvet scene perhaps in a launch or two to come. I also love how it's self-cleansing energetically because
Yeah.
one thing that's part of our ritual is obviously cleansing the crystals. So we've created nice little sort of informative cards to go with each purchase so people know how to cleanse them because that's just as important as setting intentions with them. But selenite will be a part of our universe at some point because of its self-cleansing properties, and then you can use it to help your other crystals cleanse as well. So that's great.
And I will always, although I probably wouldn't do this with selenite if I knew it was going to rain, because it's quite a delicate, it's quite a porous gemstone. But if it's a full moon, I'll always put my gemstones outside.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love that little ritual. I absolutely love it. You just feel that they're being charged. You feel that they're just taking in all that goodness from the universe. I love it.
Yeah, we have the full moon as a recommendation. We have the sun, and we have yourself with a different sort of like meditative practice that you can do where you're washing it with your own like white energy. So that's really fun.
You've thought of everything. It's brilliant.
They've been a part of my life for a really long time. I think the rabbit holing is paying off, so that's fun.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's such a wonderful thing to make part of your life and to really make it a habit, because it's the kind of thing that really helps you look after yourself, work on yourself. Because if you can do that, then you are open, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for actually getting on this call that we actually finally got to come together. Thank you so much for actually sharing your wisdom when it comes to the geology side of it.
Not at all. Thank you very much. It's been really lovely speaking to you.
Thank you so much for joining Carol and me in this episode of In the Badger's Burrow. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. Be sure to explore our socials at Velvet Aura Living for more holistic and sacred knowledge and tips. And please feel free to send us a message to tell us what you would like to listen to on a future episode. Until next time, bye!